Hello and welcome back to my airline on AirlineSim, British Atlantic Airways. And again, it's been a little bit too long since my last update, so I do apologise for that. But I have been busy. Outside, it's the holiday period or Christmas period, and I am starting a business with one of my mates as well. So that's been kicking off a little bit recently as well. So I haven't had as much time to really focus on AirlineSim. However, that doesn't mean I've not expanded. That doesn't mean things haven't happened for you guys to know about. So first of all, I decided on my long haul plane for the immediate future, and I decided to go for the Airbus A330neo, and I've got three now. And it goes so Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Delhi are the three routes we're going through them now. So I'll show you Cape Town. So Cape Town was the first one that I scheduled a few days ago. View an inventory, and just look at this. Look at this. This is a beautiful site. Coming in and making 58,000. I mean, yes, if I had an Airbus A350, if I had a 787, 8 or 9 or even 10, that'd probably be about 20,000 more. I get that, but for this new airline, this new moment in time, I'm very happy with the Airbus A330s at the moment. And in real life, British Airways has never had Airbus A330s, so something a bit different. And yeah, so I'm happy with that. I'm up to 86 planes. And I've mainly been focusing on, obviously, the 330s that I just mentioned. And I've bought some Airbus A321neos now. So at the start of last week, there was a period of about 2-3 days where life just got on top of me. There was meetings at my new job, and Christmas period. It was my son's birthday and my wife's birthday all at the same time, which is very inconsiderate of both of them to have their birthdays just before Christmas. But there you go. And basically, I didn't buy a single plane for about 2-3 full days, and I saved up 28 million in the bank. So when I came back, I bought 4 brand new 321s from the actual manufacturer. So I had the immediate delivery things, so they just came straight away. And there was a few on the market, so I just bought a few of them on the market. And I bought my first Airbus A330 as well with that money. So going forward, I will be trying to buy 321neos mostly, as when I can. That's basically going to be the backbone of my fleet. Most of my fleet is going to be 321neos, I think. And yeah, I filled out the rest of my European network. As you can see, a few gaps have been put in there. If I go over here now, my medium hauls now looking a lot better. And look at my new long haul network. Now, it's not as good as British Skies. British Skies has been absolutely firing long haul flights all over the place. With 767-200s. I'll show you British Skies in a minute. He's done quite a bit of networking on his long haul side anyway. Yeah, so I've got Cape Town. That's basically 100% there and back. I've scheduled in Johannesburg and Delhi today with 330s. These are all 757s, and they're all full now. Now I've got the connections on both sides. So yeah, very happy with that. The slot situation at Heathrow is, as you would expect, is down below 20% now. 16% in total. And basically, I think most of my flights at Heathrow now will be long haul. There might be the odd shorter haul route that I'll put in there, but I think most of the planes going forward will be 330s going forward, being based out of there. Maybe I'll get some A321 XLRs, but I'm not sure if that's really worth it when I can get a wide body. Yeah, so Heathrow's nearly, as expected, it's going to be full up. I'm guessing it'll be less than 10% in a week, and then I'll be sort of down below 5% towards the start of the new year. Betelgeuse, the guy who runs Betelgeuse, this new airline, this other airline, did unfortunately message me today saying that he's thinking of quitting. I don't know whether he's made his decision up fully, but he was thinking of quitting because me and British guys were so far ahead, and he was really hoping just to get on the LHR grind. And there's a new server that's opened. It's a limited time server. I hate limited time servers because to me, limited time worlds, what's the point of putting in an hour's work onto that? Like, you could put hundreds and hundreds of hours onto those worlds, and then it just ceases to exist within 6 months. So it just feels to me like a waste of time. Yes, they do tend to be a bit easier, so people can get their favourite airports, and the sort of battling against bigger players is can be a little bit daunting and a little bit less fun for a lot of people on these longer servers because as I said, I sort of mentioned about PK Global like controls a lot of the markets because he is so big, because he has so many planes. Like, people will come onto this server and go, right, well, I'm going to set up an airline out of, Paris, for example. They'll start flying routes like, to America, and then they'll be like, well, why are my planes not filling up? There's loads of demand in real life. And that's because PK Global's got all of it. And there's nothing wrong in that. Absolutely nothing wrong. That's the exciting part for me, is breaking in on a long-term server. Means more. Can take your time to a point. Obviously, at the start, when you're battling people at the start, you just expand as quickly as you can sometimes. But it's a long-term project. You can really fine-tune your planes, your fleets, your strategies, and you have to as well. You have to as well, especially in the European markets and American markets. Like, as I sort of went through one of the previous videos, like there's so much stagnation in Europe that I'm surprised half of these airlines aren't bankrupt, to be honest with you. It is difficult, but yeah, that's why I prefer long-term service. It's more rewarding, and your effort doesn't go to waste at the end of it. But this new short-term server is based in like the 1980s, and years go by quicker as well, which I don't quite know how that's going to work. I don't know whether you just suddenly get like 100 million in the bank every day or something from revenue over a year or something like that. But I can see why a server based in the past that sort of accelerates through time to sort of modern era would be very fun for a lot of people. Even myself included, I was like, do I have a little airline on there as well as a sort of second mini series? But no, I want to focus on this airline fully. But anyway, so he may go. He's not gone yet. He did message me earlier tonight. I think he might just be seeing how things are going with another airline on another world, maybe. Yeah, so that's a shame. There is another couple of airlines that have set up as well. The biggest one is Airlines. Got a little logo there and everything. They've based out of Manchester, and they seem to be doing quite well. He's been online today, set up about 10 days ago, I think. He's got 319s, 8 A220s. He's mopping up some of this demand that me and British guys just won't get round to for a while, because there's going to be airports that are completely open in the UK for a long time. So Manchester to Luton, he can have that. He'll probably have that route until me and British guys are about 6-7 months down the line, and by that time he might be a lot bigger competitor to compete with. So he's there. There's also another airline called EAN, who has restarted a few times. I think he started off at Stansted with some ATRs. He started off at Isle of Man as well. I can't quite remember. But he's restarted at Manchester with A320neos, which I think is a better strategy from him, doing more European routes, which is good. So hopefully they stick around. I want B2Gs to stay, but if he doesn't, his slots will be gladly snapped up by myself and British guys. Let's take a look at British guys. This is one thing I am jealous about, other than his long haul network. Excuse me. Just look how neat his fleet is. It's just like 10, 10, 10, 25. It just fuels my OCD. It's absolutely glorious. And then you have a look at mine. All over the place. I've got... just get me off that page. He's been focusing on long haul the last week. Has our British guys. If I show you his long haul network, that is a very extensive long haul network. I'm surprised he has a plane to the range for Tokyo, but I guess it's a 200ER is what's doing that for him. Let's see his network. So yes, he flies to, there's going to be a lot of overlap with our European network, obviously, but I fly a lot more frequency to Europe. So I've got a better European network. He's got a much better long haul network. So he's going to Bermuda there with a 7672. Where's this Tokyo and what plane's doing that run? It's under Tokyo and 767-200, yeah. So those planes must have some serious range on them then. Range. Whew, yeah. Didn't realise that, to be honest with you. I thought they weren't that didn't have the legs that much. But yeah, so, and he started to buy up Pacific 20s as well, so he's starting to think of the future a little bit. Of course, at some point Heathrow will get full. I think he's going to go to Stansted, as I said before, and I'm going to go to Gatwick. And let's think about this as well. So I've got two 321s here ready to be scheduled, and I'm debating whether to make these the last two sort of European network shorter route out of Heathrow. I do, and then from then on I'm just focusing on long haul out of Heathrow, and fleet renewal, obviously, because eventually what I think I want is at least my Heathrow fleet. This is what I've got in my brain. I want to replace all of the 737 Classic 300s and 500s, and 600s with Airbus A320s, Airbus A320neos. The 400s, 700s, and 800s, and all the rest, and the 900s will be replaced by Airbus A321s. And the 757s will be a mixture of Airbus A321s and wide bodies. So that'll leave me with a fleet of probably about like 20% of my fleet will be Airbus A320neos. Then about 50 to 60% of my fleet out of Heathrow will be Airbus A321s. And then the rest will be wide bodies. Now, my first wide body is the Airbus A330-900s, and I'm thinking they're going to be going to sort of, the sort of, Cape Town, Johannesburg, Delhi, Bombay, bloody hell, Mumbai, the sort of, East Coast America, maybe Brazil, and other African destinations like Lagos, maybe, that sort of thing, and the Middle East will be sort of the 330 Neos. And then I'm thinking I'll probably get Airbus A350s as sort of my flagship. Now, I'll probably get Airbus A350 1000s. PK Global has offered me cheap leasing rates on these with a long-term contract, and obviously he wants a bit of a commitment to them. So that is a possibility. They could be my sort of flagship fleet. And obviously the 1000s, they'll go everywhere where they're needed. Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, China. The main long haul routes will be done by them. And being honest, let's be real here. The Airbus A350 1000 is just a beautiful aircraft. So that's what I'm going to do. So Airbus A320s, Airbus A321s, A330neos, Airbus A350 1000s. I think it's going to be the main of my fleet. I will be tempted. I will be very much tempted to also have a fleet of 787s and Airbus A380s. It depends on how the Heathrow hub goes. But obviously that's for way down the line. I was also, and this is the sort of thing, and this is the reason why long-term services are a lot more enjoyable for me. So, in the sort of way I'm thinking, excuse me, with my Gatwick operation, right? Gatwick's more leisure-based with the destinations and everything. So, I've gone to nearly every conceivable main market is covered by my Heathrow route. That's fine. However, I'm trying to make it a bit more realistic. Gatwick's going to be leisure based, so I'm going to have long haul Caribbean routes. Orlando, obviously, for Florida, Miami. As a Caribbean, I'll probably get over to like the Maldives and stuff like that. Sort of the sort of bread and butter leisure routes that British Airways flies from Gatwick already. But also there's been a few airports which I've had to sort of weigh up and go, no, they're going to be out of Gatwick instead. So I do go to Tenerife. And Ibiza and Palma out of Heathrow, but I haven't gone further Ventura, for example. I haven't gone Salzburg. I haven't gone Innsbruck, Hurghada in Egypt, who's a massive holiday destination for us Brits. Thessaloniki is not an airport I've gone to out of Gatwick. Out of Heathrow yet. So these are the sort of routes. So my fleet out of Gatwick, I want it just to be really, really efficient. maybe almost a sub fleet to my main fleet, if you get what I mean, out of Heathrow. So, like, in real life, British Airways has actually created a whole new subsidiary. I'm not sure whether I'll do that. I want it all to be under the same one, making the same money for the same airline. And they have a fleet of like 20 Airbus A321s. And what I was thinking, just to, not be boring, and go down the ones or just a fully Airbus route, is, do I just get, do I move over? See, when I'm replacing my, my Boeing 737s, do I just move them over to Gatwick? A bit like British Airways used to do. Because when I was growing up, British Airways moved the 737 fleet that they had over to Gatwick. And that became the Gatwick fleet. Now they've moved some older Airbus A321s over, and they've made it like that. So that's an option. So I could, have a Gatwick fleet made up of Maxes, 737 Maxes, and maybe I do move over some Airbus A330s eventually. I don't know. But what I do know is I want my Gatwick fleet to have slightly different routes around Europe, ones that I couldn't really get to before. So going forward, I'm sorry if you can hear the noise outside. I do have these two Airbus A321s to be scheduled, and these might be the last narrow bodies I schedule out of Heathrow for a while, and then from then on Heathrow's just going to be wide bodies. And I may, going forward, do I do it? Let's do it. Gatwick fleet, let's start it. There you go, my Gatwick fleet is started. maybe do I do these two there? I don't know. But it's there. It's ready. And I'm looking forward to it. As you can see here, here's some of the long haul routes I'll probably go to next as well. But yeah, so obviously over the Christmas period I'm probably not going to post another video maybe until New Year now. Obviously I've got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I've actually got meetings on the 29th. I've got plans over New Year's. So yes, I'm not going to be posting another video for a little while, but starting from next year, I'm going to try and do at least one video a week, as best as I can. I was hoping to do 2 videos a week, but even now I've not been managing to do that. I might even do some other aviation type videos, because there isn't a mobile game, and I know the people that are watching this are probably people that just play the AirlineSim from the Discord server, whatever. There is a mobile game called World of Airports that is absolutely phenomenal. And I don't know whether I can record my phone and do a series on that. That's all just things for the future. But yeah, so thanks for watching this video again. It's been one of my most exciting airlines I've ever done, being based out of Heathrow. I hope that if you're watching Betelgeuse, you do stay around. I don't know if you have. I thought I saw you've opened at Gatwick, have you, as well? Yeah, you got one flight to Gatwick from Glasgow. Yeah, so you said you were from Scotland, didn't you? So maybe you started to do that. I hope you stick around, build a bit of a Scottish airline on a long-term server. Because, as I say, for me personally, what's the point of going to a short-term server for it just to get deleted in a year? For me, that's a waste of money, but you can do what you want. Anyway, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye to everyone. Bye.